interrupted, I was addressing the issue of the toxic relationship between Governor Anne Waiguru and the County Assembly. In this respect, cognizant of the Senate's role as the custodian of the interests of the counties and their governments, the committee recommends that the Senate, through its relevant organs, immediately assumes jurisdiction and invites the County Assembly and the County Governor to a consultative process that will restore a functioning government to the people of Kirinyaga County. The area senator, Honorable Charles Kibiru, should lead the various reconciliatory measures to bring together the county executive and the county assembly and all other institutions in order to restore harmonious working relationship in Kirinyaga County. Mr. Speaker, the committee on the issue of the conduct of the governor. Mr. Speaker, it is worth noting that the committee was unimpressed and must express its reservations on the pattern of conduct of the governor that it has perceived on the basis of the evidence adduced before it. For example, while it is open to the governor to indulge in less important activities, it is an inspiring and disturbing picture when the governor cannot similarly find time to appear before the county assembly to present the annual state of the county address. The condescending attitude of the governor towards the county assembly is uncalled for and does not inspire confidence and trust in the county executive leadership. The governor appears to require to be reminded of the high calling of her office and the responsibilities of leadership as set under Article 73 of the Leadership and Integrity chapter of the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, the investigation by the special committee, I will go straight to the findings of the special committee, and this is the gist of my presentation. Mr. Speaker, having considered all these matters, it then fell to the special committee to discharge its mandate under Section 33 of the County Government Act, Standing Order 75, and Part 2 of the 5th Schedule, and the Senate Standing Orders, Section 33(4) of the County Government Act, Standing Order 75(2), and Rule 2 of Part 2 of the 5th Schedule of the Senate Order, Standing Orders, mandates the special committee to investigate the matter. Mr. Speaker, the committee's findings on each of the particulars of the allegations are therefore as follows. Charge 1, gross violation of the Constitution and any other law. Mr. Speaker, the first allegation was failure to deliver the annual State of the County Address for the financial year 2018-2019 to the County Assembly. From the evidence adduced before the committee, the governor demonstrated that 2 annual State of the County Address were made. One, albeit, was not delivered in the County Assembly. The committee further noted that there is no county legislation to provide for the content of the annual State of the County Address as required by Section 32K of the County Government Act. The committee also noted that there is no specific law that compels the governor to make the State of the County Address in the County Assembly. The committee therefore finds that the allegation was not proved by law and it is therefore not substantiated. Allegation number 2, undermining the authority of the County Assembly. Evidence adduced before the committee showed that the county executive has always submitted county policy papers and plans, including the county strategy paper before the County Assembly. Further, the County Assembly has always approved the annual budgets, which includes the ADP, the annual development plans, the CIDPs, the fiscal strategy paper, the county outlook papers, Mr. Speaker. There is evidence of plans and policy documents that have been presented to the County Assembly, received and approved by the same County Assembly. The committee therefore finds that the allegation was not proved and it is therefore not substantiated. Allegation number 3, violation of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act 2015 and the Public Finance Management Act of 2012. From the evidence adduced, the committee noticed a clear mismanagement of some tenders. And I want to be very clear on this point, that the committee noted a clear mismanagement of some tender. Of the 12 tenders listed in the motion, the County Assembly only prosecuted 4 of them. The County Assembly used 12 tenders to allege mismanagement in the county, but they only prosecuted 4. 8 were abandoned on the road. Of the 4 tenders prosecuted, the committee notes that there was clear mismanagement of the tender process, where tenders were awarded to companies whose bids were not responsive or where there were clear cases of conflict of interest. The specific tenders in question include tender number CGK ICT 047 of 2017-2018, tender for the design, development, installation, and commissioning of integrated hospital management information system. Mr. Speaker, in this tender, full payment was made long before the user testing was done. And further, the company awarded did not meet the qualifications prescribed in the tender document. The second tender, Mr. Speaker, was the tender for the proposed waterworks for Mwea Makima water projects, March 2018. This tender, Mr. Speaker, was awarded to Ever Trading Agencies Limited, which was clearly owned by a member of the family, specifically the brother to the accounting officer, who awarded the tender with no declaration of interest, yet he's the one who signed on behalf of the county government. In the circumstances, Mr. Speaker, the committee recommends that investigatory authorities undertake investigations on the same and the culpable officers, including the respective tender evaluation committee members, be called to account. The committee, therefore, finds that the allegations were not directly linked to the governor, and it is therefore not substantiated. Charge number 2, abuse of office and gross misconduct. Allegation number 1, violation of Section 46 of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act of 2015. Evidence adduced before the committee showed that the respective tender committees were by law established by the respective accounting officers. There was no evidence linking the governor with the establishment of the tender evaluation committee. The committee, therefore, finds that the allegation was not proved and it is therefore not substantiated. Allegation number 2 on charge number 2 of abuse of office and gross misconduct. Conferring a benefit to a public officer. Mr. Speaker, from the evidence adduced, the committee established administrative malaise in the management of imprest in Kirinyaga County. The committee first took great exception to the county assembly for listing 12 imprests paid to the governor and alleging that the governor was issued with imprest but never traveled or surrendered the imprest. The county assembly, on prosecuting, they only prosecuted 2 out of the 12, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, again, the county assembly brings 12 allegations and only prosecute 2 and abandon 10, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the governor adduced evidence of the travel, and where the travel was never undertaken, the imprest was surrendered throughout the time. The committee observes that accounting officers must adhere to the Public Finance Management Act of 2012, which requires imprest to be surrendered within 7 days, and in the event of delay, the refund should be made with interest, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, here, Governor Anne Waiguru was supposed to travel in January, but she refunded the imprest in April, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as a committee, we noted that that was a malpractice and it should not be entertained, and the accounting officer should ensure that such members of the public service should be surcharged in case they don't remit or account the imprest. The committee, therefore, Mr. Speaker, finds that this allegation was proved but does not amount to an impeachable offense. Allegation number 3, Mr. Speaker. Disregard of the recommendation of the County Public Service Board regarding remuneration of members of the board of Kirinyaga Investment Development Authority, payment of KIDA board members outside the IFMIS and county government payroll, and payment of interest amounting to more than 14 million paid to Mr. Francis Muriithi Kariuki. Mr. Speaker, evidence adduced before the committee, and we are talking about evidence, nothing less than evidence. Evidence adduced before the committee demonstrates that payment was made in accordance with Salary and Remuneration Commission circular on payment of allowances to board and commissions. The committee, therefore, Mr. Speaker, finds that this specific allegation was not proved and it is therefore not substantiated. Allegation number 4 on charge number 2, violation of the right to health of the people of Kirinyaga County. From the evidence adduced before the committee, it was established that there was significant systematic problems in the health sector in Kirinyaga that can be addressed by various organs, including the county assembly and the national government institutions. The committee further notes that the high turnover of health workers in Kirinyaga County and the inordinate delay in the payment of health workers who, pursuant to the governor's moratorium, resumed work. This issue should be addressed forthwith. The committee finds that this allegation was again not proved and is therefore not substantiated. Mr. Speaker, you will allow me to conclude.
You have 2 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, I don't know why you are not interested to know how we conclude this matter.
In fact, you know, you've gone over the time I gave you, so you must really...
Yeah. Mr. Speaker, we have recommended, I'm not able to trace that, but I'll go off the script. Mr. Speaker, the committee has recommended that specific officers who constituted the tender committees, that is the chief finance officer, and members of the tender committees, that is Wayne, Pauline, and the director, supply chain management, Mr. Cornelius Otieno, should step aside as the DCI, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, and all other prosecutory organs look into this matter, Mr. Speaker. And lastly, Mr. Speaker, all the companies that were awarded unlawful tenders in Kirinyaga County, the EFCC, the DCI, and any other investigatory organ should initiate investigation and report back within 60 days, but in the meantime, those tenders should be paused until that matter is heard and determined. Thank you, and may God bless Kenya. I also want to remind people that I am still the senator for Kakamega County. Thank you so much.